Whoa. You got to share these music albums, you know.
I don't know. It comes on random. I just prepared just 10-15 minutes before.
I so miss this, man. And I see a few more joining.
Okay, welcome to Open Mic. We don't know the agenda, but still we want to do this session. Especially this is the time you can ask any questions. We have our guest speaker, Sandesh here. We are going to use a lot of his time, going to ask a lot of questions with Sandesh. So please raise your hand if you have any questions, so that way we can actually unmute, and that way we can start the program. So first of all, just a few minutes on All India Org Users Group. I think most of you guys know about All India Org Users Group. It started in 2007. I still remember September time frame, like 21st of September. We all met, like myself, Murali, Satyendra, and there are two more folks left, means met in Oracle office, and thought of starting something like Oracle Users Group. And since Murli was from US, he knows the concept of users group, and he was the what to say, guru for us to start this users group. And that way we started, and it's almost 14 years now. A lot of progress, a lot of people, a lot of volunteers, and a lot of efforts behind the scenes. And especially the team, we are like more than 33 volunteers, and there are really, and volunteers means volunteers, right? So you can expect some people do 10%, some people do actually 110%. And and again, it's not an organization. You can't say that, for example, we can take how much you can help. So that is one of the important thing. For example, if you are interested, you can also join part of our group. I know there are many requests are coming to our website. We will work on it. We will put you depending on your expertise, right? For example, you are really good at doing a technical review for our magazine, then that is your place. Or you are really good at organizing events, or you want to learn something new, right? So that is also fine. So nothing, no boundaries, only passion is required. So just come and join our team, and that way we can start. Okay, so this is a users group platform created in the in started in Bangalore. And we actually, the good thing is we named as All India Oracle Users Group, so that we can actually use that as a umbrella and start small chapters in every city, right? So then we actually started in Chennai, Hyderabad. So it actually cut across almost 10 cities now, and we want to start more. So basically, it's like a platform where you can come and share the knowledge or gain the knowledge, and through for example, virtual sessions, or face-to-face sessions. But beyond that, networking is our primary area, right? So networking is more of coming and discussing about any technical topic, not the personal topic. But that way you can learn so many things. What we found is people are learning more in the outside of the hall, and not inside the hall, right? So basically means like people are learning more, not attending the conference session. It's more of attending outside of the hall, right? So just talking to people. And anyway, we are missing all this fun, but I'm sure we'll be back very soon. Yeah, so please raise your hand. We are happy to answer your questions. And we have Sandesh, so I'm going to ask some questions in between, but it's
Oh,
open mic, so anybody can just ask any questions, but don't ask technical questions. So let's spend some time on this community, right? Don't ask. Sandesh is here, don't ask any rack questions,
So,
but
so we have first question by Sandeep Chavan.
oh, go ahead, Vinay. Go ahead and unmute him.
Yeah, I've unmuted him. Sandeep, you can go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Hello, Vinay. Hello, Sai. Hello, Sandesh. Good morning, good evening. Sai, you said like no technical questions, but like this is somewhat I have a generic question around like the career path. Like, can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, question is, in database development and architect vertical, can we still be focused only on the Oracle technologies? Why I'm asking this question, because though there are so many new features in Oracle 18 or 19c or the new announcement around Converge DB with 21c is so promising, but the current trend in the market is changing so rapidly that the technology migration with respect to use cases are happening. IDBM is going from Oracle to Postgres or MySQL. We saw a very strong keynote from Bombay Stock Exchange, right? Like they moved everything on MySQL. Or like document DB use cases going from Oracle to MongoDB, Elasticsearch, likewise. So can we still be focused with respect to the career path, right? Like that only on Oracle, or we should diverse our knowledge and like have everything going around and be sure like that whatever trends are there, we are equipped with it. So I'm not sure whether I phrased my question properly, but like the overall stuff is, can we just still be focused with Oracle technologies, or need to get more around what is happening? So that's what the.
So I think we have Guru here. Yeah, I think, we understand in the first statement itself. I think you don't require to explain entire pain points. I think,
Yeah.
let's keep it very short questions. I think
Yeah.
easy to understand. So Sandesh, go ahead.
So I have a very different point of view for these things. Now, I may work for Oracle, but I just feel I like to work on whatever I like to work on. Okay. And Oracle has significantly diversified its technologies to work with pretty much anything and everything open source. Remember, we own MySQL, or at least when we acquired it from Sun. So there's a huge amount of MySQL deployed. We have this JSON feature within the Oracle database, which basically relies on something that is completely open source, or a technology that is basically has open standards to intersect with anything. If you ask me, whatever that is required to learn in your line of work, you should learn. The Oracle ecosystem in itself is huge. Like I work for Oracle for 20 years and I can just keep working on Oracle products and not have to know anything else, and I can still be fine, because there are jobs that involve Oracle and Oracle related software. There are jobs that may require you to connect, say, an Oracle database to a Postgres database. Then you have to acquire that skill. So the skill depends on what your job requires you to do, and do you enjoy it? I think those are the two most important questions you always need to ask yourself. See, one thing I've always wondered about this, right? It's like every time I go to India, people are always looking at what is the next trend I need to learn so that I can be relevant. Instead, have you ever asked yourself, what do I need to learn that I enjoy, that will make me feel good when I'm doing my job? And that's something that I am really good at. If that's Oracle and Oracle technologies, then that may be it. If it's Postgres and Postgres, it may be it. But don't learn something just because that's the vogue in the market, right? That's 95% of the people keep running over toward that direction. But for a person who works on something for 20 years, I can tell you this: when you walk away from technologies you never enjoyed, but you did work on it because it was hot in the market, you have this sense of non-fulfillment after a couple of years, saying, I wasted the best time of my life working on something that I didn't enjoy. So the two things you need to ask yourself is, forget what's hot in the market. It's like a wave, right? Today it's BJP, tomorrow it's Congress, then it's BJP, then it's Congress. It's a wave that comes over the last 70 years, right? If you chase the wave, you'll always be chasing the wave. So the best thing to do is to always keep changing what you do, especially what you like, and enjoy the most of whatever you do and you build. If it's document DB, it's document DB. It's like, what I could do with a couple of lines of SQL in Oracle, I could do the same thing in document DB in a different way. But if I don't need this database, I don't need that database, it's up to you to decide. It's up to your company to decide. It's up to the situation that you are in to decide. So do what you enjoy, okay? And learn what makes you feel like 5 years from now, man, I had the time of my life working on that. Hey guys, I
Yeah.
shouldn't be the only one answering, by the way. Anybody else wants to jump in can feel
No,
free
no,
to
I
jump
think that's really perfect, perfect answer, Sandesh. I think passion, right? Trust me, we are all like, we like our means, especially in my case, I'm not, maybe Vinay or Aishwarya can talk. So I like users group, but um, it's a non-profit group, so I can't feed my family. So that's why I'm working for a company. But always, I spend a lot of time with users group. You don't know how much time I spend, but it comes with a lot of energy. But that's why Sandesh always, suggests me that why didn't you make your users group as your primary, what to say, primary job, so that you actually excel in that area. But I'm still trying to get to that point. But still, yeah. So passion is very important. I think today is 21C, tomorrow is 90C. So I think you should
Well,
go with your
as you can
passion.
see, Sai is a fan of Baba Ramdev as well. So
No, no, this is COVID. I'm still waiting for something. Yeah. But yeah, but I really enjoy this one because I always cut like army cutting, but today like I have like ponytail and it's like I was never thought like my wife will be like combing my hair and it all changes, right? So anyway, that's really good question, Sandeep.
So
Just
here's a tidbit for which Sai is going to kill me. Yesterday or day before, Sai couldn't hear properly the audio. Later on, he realized that his hair is between his earplugs. That's why. And we kept checking all the audio settings. What's going
Yeah, so it's all
lady,
fun.
it's called divine intervention. It's
I
not
know.
called hair obstruction.
Right.
I just want to add to something to Sandeep's question. I personally feel I moved from my service career to my own consulting career because I didn't like to go 9 to 5 job. But I personally now feel that uh, it doesn't matter the products. What matters is your concepts. Is what matters is what you know about the technology. You can utilize that in everywhere. Everywhere it can be Oracle, MySQL, MariaDB. It doesn't matter actually. What matters is you have the concepts in your hand. You have a passion for database. Go ahead and pursue it. The products don't matter. When we go to the market, if you are good at something, if your concepts are good, there are people who are ready to buy you in. Even if you don't know MySQL, you know database concepts, you are good at it, they'll buy you. That's not the point. Point is, what is your passion? What is the way you want to work? I personally feel I work on all databases. It's not just all. I work on all databases. Almost six types of databases I've worked in past 6 years. Okay. I just kept one thing in my mind that database is something which is my passion, and I have to keep my concepts clear and updated. If I'm through with it, I don't have any problem in that. I don't have to think about whether tomorrow MySQL is put off or maybe documents DB is not there or no SQL is not there. No, I don't have to because my concepts are good. I know the base concept of database. I can go ahead and do it. Any product. That's what my take on
Technology is always a cycle, people. It always changes. So if you're not adept to keeping up to change, technology is the wrong industry for you. The best industry is start off like be a dentist and a halwai next to each other. So you go eat your sweets, then you go to the dentist to get your teeth fixed. It never changes. You can retire with both these businesses being next to each other. So
Okay,
technology
super.
changes.
I think let's do one thing. Let's stick to question and answer like a 1 minute. Like we have to cover a lot of
Yeah.
things, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes. Let's do that. Yep.
okay, so next is Babu
Babu.
Srinivasan.
Yeah, Sai, nice to be with you and attending this. And Sandesh, I met you a few times, and I'm really ask you a few questions. Okay, let me list my questions.
One question.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And a
It will
bit
be short
louder.
and sweet.
And you
It
need
will
to
be
be
short and
louder.
sweet. Okay. So Sandesh, one thing is, I was amazed at the transformation what you have done from Oracle RAC through to ML and AI in the last 2 years, like what you mentioned. mentioned. And then the other secret is, I think you yourself said, like, instead of technical speaker, you have become a motivational speaker. And then the charm that you bring, and then the enthusiasm that you spread it to everyone. Can you share what is a tip? Like, maybe is there a lifestyle? Is there anything that you follow diligently, or what
Uh-oh.
makes that transformation? Because I think as years grow, you are growing younger, man.
I have white hair. I'm graying out, so that's not exactly true. My kids drive me up a wall, but I think it's about doing what you like to do. Traveling constantly exposes me to different kinds of people, different kinds of situations that tend to enrich your overall experience of life. Uh, every 2 years, work on something different. Sometimes, so I'll tell you where all this started for me. Is basically I saw a few of my friends that I used to work with pass away about 3 4 years ago, and I realized that they passed away with extremely odd circumstances, and they never had any preconditions or any of that stuff, and they just died. And that shocked me because mortality is not something that you realize until you confront it, right? It's like, I've had people pass away in your family, but when you see your really close friends of your age pass away, right, you kind of feel, oh my god, this guy was working all the time. He said, I'll retire and enjoy, and nothing happened. He just died. It's like end of file communication channel kind of conversation, right? And then I saw that and I realized, dude, life's all about making every day count, doing different kinds of things, doing different kinds of experiences, not having unhappy moments in your life. So I started following a couple of basic principles. First of all, work on what you like. Enjoy absolutely what you do. Do not surround yourself with negative people. Okay, anybody who keeps complaining, anybody who's like not happy with what they want to do, those are not the kind of people you want. They constantly leech energy off you. So you want to kind of work with happy people. You want to work with people who are share the same sense of enthusiasm you have. Travel for me exposes me to different kinds of people, different kinds of experiences that I would normally never get had I stayed in the same area that I work and meet the same people I work with every day. That there's a very static plane of feels to that. And then of course, once in a while, a swig of bourbon always helps. And so just be happy. So traveling with all these guys in AIOUG is a different kind of energy. The whole selfie thing, right? It just helps.
Hello.
It's a way for me to
Ajay?
connect to people, and
हाँ
kind
सर.
of it breaches the gaps.
हाँ बोलिए
So
बोलिए.
that's the
हाँ
whole
बोलिए.
idea. Oh, Vinay's taking a call,
हाँ
dude.
तो आप कब आने वाले हो?
So that's the beauty of it. Selfies connect with people, work on what you like, do not surround yourself with negative people, um, and do what you're passionate about. Realize that life is finite, and treat every moment as being precious, and do exactly what you like.
Yeah, I think that's very important, right? 2 points. If you see something negative from your surroundings, just get out of that place. And what Sandesh mentioned, I think we have seen this COVID-19 days, how people are dying.
Mhm.
And, I think even Sandesh always gives me this, right? Don't work too much on this, but I'm not enjoying my life, right? Not enjoying with family. And what happens tomorrow if I die, right? It's God. And I'm sure you guys will just send me one flavor and maybe you'll say, sorry to hear condolence, right?
You're going to see a
So,
bunch of rips, and that's it.
so I think every minute, again, I'm not doing it, but I like to do it, but every minute just enjoy the experience. I think even this is what my question, right? Sandesh, always travel. I think that is getting a lot of energy by doing that, right? I think it's different for different people, right? uh, some people do meditation, some people just go to bar, restaurant, whatever they like, right? So they
Some people
enjoy
wash
and
dishes. Some people
wash
like to wash
dishes.
dishes. That's actually
Yeah,
a relaxing thing for some people.
yeah. So it's or play with kids. Again, it all depends on, there is no perfect formula for, you just follow this, it works. It's not like a technology, right? I think it's very important, we all need to change. And I think this COVID is really teached us a lot of lessons. Make sure that, every minute, even now in this call, just don't restrict yourself. Be open, ask questions, right? It is so horrible for me, like, so much efforts behind the scenes for Sangam 20. Each and every speaker, we need to write, really follow up and really request them to come and explain the value of community, right? And finally they come and you see only 50 people are joining, right? So horrible experience for me. I have to, means entire team need to send like, please join, please join. Really, we need to spoon feed everything. So it's not a good thing, right? But anyway, who's next? Yeah, so this is a good time, actually. Just come out of your comfort
I
zone.
have a different conversation here that I thought I should initiate, and I want to see what you guys have to say about this. Is what do you think COVID has done to our lives, and how do you see the next 1 year panning out? What are the changes in our life, in everything that we do? Do you think that's going to happen?
Yeah, I think the first thing is share all your bank username passwords to your spouse or kids. That's very important. I was just wondering, like, I think initial days, Sandesh, I went outside for a jogging. When I come back, there's like a throat pain. The first thing I did is open a PowerPoint, put all bank accounts and passwords, and share with your wife, share with my wife, right? So that's
So
the
you
first.
have to hack Sai's machine first to get that PowerPoint now,
No,
so you
no
can.
way. It's fully secured. It's fully secured. You have to go through all the clouds and land. Come to my laptop. Yeah, and so it's. I think it's so scary, right? I was just thinking, like, what happens next? And there are many cases, right? Including in my family, many cases. Suddenly, some people die. We don't know where is that financial transactions. It's gone. End of the story. So again, I'm only too much talking. We have Karan, Aish, Vinay,
Come
Rutvik.
on, guys. What do you guys think is going to happen with this?
I think I need to ask one question to Rutvik. Is this
Mhm.
totally changed? He lost, means he's not lost, but basically he reduced his weight almost 10 to 15 kgs. Maybe he can just provide a tip to us.
I think his wife just went to her mother's place. That's probably what happened.
No, no, not that thing. So basically, 2 year back, I was weighing 94 kg, and suddenly I thought after COVID that I really want to lose the weight. So one thing, I don't want to go in the gym because I did that past and I again gained the weight. So I did my own research on YouTube, follow some fitness people on YouTube channel, and start my own researching. And then uh, I came to know that what actually required for our body, and I just followed that thing. And now in within 3 months, I lose 12 kg. So currently, I weighted 81 kg.
Super.
Wow.
I think Vinay and myself waiting for your tips. So
We need detailed tips, please.
So,
Sure.
Always
Sandesh,
as well.
on a positive note, what I feel from COVID is it has broken the barriers. Like right now, I'm in US and Sai is in India. I don't know. Yeah, he's in UK or India. So people across the globe, right? This definitely is a luxury from the COVID situation. Otherwise, I won't be able to engage myself or involve in any of these user group meetings across the globe. It's a very nice opportunity to get along and then see the enthusiasm, like Sai said. And what other thing I noticed is people have cut down on the travel time, especially on driving to
Mhm.
work, and
Yeah.
it has given a positive impact. Like people have started concentrating apart from 9 to 5. They also started something on the certification front, especially with the cloud offer from Oracle, and then rest of the cloud providers. I see like there is a little bit more to work on life balance, and they are spending like you are always with your family. Like I'm not sure like what Sai's concern is. Sai, don't worry. The beneficiary will get all the money. You don't need the password. They have the eligibility to get it. So the thing is, I think you are always near to the family, even at work, working from home. It gives a little bit different feeling, like even though there is some disturbance at work while during that work hours, but it's always a benefit. I think we are all reachable very close, like we are able to connect together more as we get more time. I feel it is very positive. Except the fact, like people are realizing, like life has got more than what work. So I think it's good, good that it made
Absolutely.
everyone, yeah, realize the value for the life and relations and everything apart from work. It's not work is always your career is not the primary, right? It's just for survival
What
or
I
whatever
felt
you
is
call it for. You
what
don't
I
need to
felt
be like.
is what I felt is in India, getting a work from home opportunity was a luxury. Now it is
Mhm.
no more a luxury. Now every organizations maybe like Mahindra and Mahindra, other than worker class, they never used to give work from home. Now that 80% workforce is working from home. And they want to continue this just by seeing that they are saving a lot of money from perspective of rent and office expenses and stuff. So to be very frank, one big change in Indian industry is organizations have started thinking to moving their workforces across to work from home. And what has happened is there are people they come from a tier two, tier three cities, but they have to work. They have to be in Bombay to work or Delhi to work. They shifted. I've seen so many people. They shifted to their natives. They're working from there for past 6 months. That has actually given them a time to go back with their family where they were staying away. So there are no more expats working on the projects. There are people who are working with their sitting with their family, but they still give 100%. And I feel one negative part is uh, I am a independent consultant, so it doesn't matter because I work 24/7. But my wife she used to work for 9 to 5 or maybe 8 hours a day. Since she's working from home, it is extended to 12 hours a day because it's like people just give you a call directly saying that oh we are working today. This is it. We need to finish it today. But that is something which has to be added in organizations this that you should not go ahead and call them after 8 hours. That is not the case in India. But yes, there are a lot of positive points, a lot of negative points. Is I don't know, but uh, I I feel that when you're sitting inside an office, you meet 10 more people. You meet 10 more people, you get 10 more views about what you're doing, and that makes a lot of difference, which is not possible over a Zoom or over a daily meeting of 10 minutes. So this is what I feel. It's good also, it's bad also. If you're looking for next 1 year, I still feel that organizations are not coming to office. They are going to be at home, and there is going to be a lot of growth. People were not believing in moving to cloud. Now they are actually running behind to move to cloud, and that is something which is a very positive in Indian industry. That's what I
Yeah,
feel.
absolutely. Is my voice clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I kind of got an echo. So yeah, I mean, about Sandesh's question about how do you see the next year panning out, or what has been the experience? I'd say probably COVID has made us, more empathetic towards others, our co-workers, because right now we are literally in their houses. We know their families, we know their constraints, we know, in a way, we are connecting more, right? Earlier it was just something, you go to an office, you meet 5 people, you're there 9 to 5, you don't care what they're happening. Now you empathize more, you know what's happening around them, you're more aware. And I hope now this is something, as Vinay mentioned, we kind of tend to our stretch the liberties that we get when you're working from home. You try that kind of is our probably something that happens a lot over here. But I kind of hope we get to a place where you end up respecting those boundaries, where there's a work life balance of your coworker that you need to respect. I hope that is somehow seeped into the organizational values and ethos that perhaps over time need to build. So yeah, that's a hope, but yeah, that's required, and you especially feel it when you're working with an Indian services company and you just transition out of that. You feel the difference of, and that helps you, when somebody is respecting you, you're enjoying your work, it just, you interact with people to enjoy your work. So yeah, that helps. So I think that's kind of important, that you respect and you understand your co-workers' constraints and limitations as well. So yeah, that's one thing.
Okay, so again, don't think this is like questions you need to raise, but I think one thing I want to achieve, like if even somebody wants to talk, just limit to 30 seconds or 1 minute, not beyond that, so that everybody will get an opportunity, even including answers, right? So that we'll cover everybody. Initially we thought we'll unmute everybody, but again, let's see who's next.
One small question
Ah,
I have for Sandesh. Maybe I thought some expert can answer it. So I know a lot of us are very happy in these times, and we get a lot of appreciation from our bosses and everything. But I have seen some people, because of personal reasons, job reasons, they are not quite happy, and and we have seen, like, in even in Bollywood, we have seen like Sushant Rajput. So we want, like, in COVID, when people are locked down, how they can be self motivated, or virtually, they can get a chance, or what they can do to be happy. So
Well, you have to follow your passions, man, no matter where you are, whether you're locked down or not. I think the most important thing is connect with people. Absolutely most important, because you're isolated. In the first 3 months, everybody in my office would love this stuff. Oh, we're on Zoom, we're connected. Everything was happening fast. People were actually working more hours at home than they were working when they were in the office. And everybody loved the fact that they didn't have to commute 2-3 hours every day. But that also resulted in fatigue. So Zoom fatigue actually became a term in 3 months quickly. And then, we are like, wait a second, what's happening here, right? So, you remember, so see the differences of what you do in the office versus what you do at home. You have a meeting, and then the next meeting is in another conference room across the building. So you get out of the conference room, you get into the coffee area, you pick up a coffee, you walk, you say hi to a few people on the way, and then you go to the other room. And then you have another meeting, right? So the meetings have 10 minutes in between. The Zoom meetings are scheduled exactly on the hour, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, because you just have to log off and log in, right? But there's no that relaxation, that release of fatigue between the two meetings, that social interaction, that camaraderie. We are a social species. You take a person, you put him on the island, you give all the stuff that the person needs to live, the person will be happy for a week, and then they'll long for some kind of social experience, right? So it's extremely important to be connected to people while you're actually in this COVID pandemic, and connected to, whether it is via Zoom, whether you have your own social bubbles and you actually go and meet with people. Of course, you have to be extremely careful, especially when you're meeting people who have, who are vulnerable and stuff like that. There are helplines that are set up where, if you're having those kind of thoughts, and like Sushant and all, like, nobody knows really what's happening in people's minds when you're in these kind of situations, right, during the pandemic. So it's extremely important that you talk to someone, and you whether you're friends, whether it's via Zoom, do not isolate yourself. Do not sit and do Netflix binging and not talk to anybody whatsoever, right? So social interaction, to a certain extent, it's different people desire different levels of social interaction. Like for me, if I have to talk to my friends for some time, but I can't talk to the same friend every day because there's nothing much to talk about. It's like, so it's like some people talk to their moms every day, some people talk to their moms once a week. So it depends on how much social interaction you require. Do not overdo it, but at least have the same level of social interaction that you used to have before. Because I think that's the number one reason why people get isolated, and then they have no one to speak to, and then results in something extremely dramatic. And it's even more evident in these COVID times, because the one thing that we took for granted, that we always had, was social interaction. Today, we don't have that physical social interaction, and we miss it so much. It's actually, people look at pictures and say, I look at my selfies from last year and I'm like, man, that looks like a luxury now. Going into a restaurant, not even thinking that the next person walked by you. Now, every person that walks by me, I'm thinking 10 times, oh, does this guy have it? Does this guy have it? The amount of processing you have to do, which we never did before. So talk to people.
Yeah, I think that really connects to the community, right? So it's not only personal. I think even you can talk to. That's why this whole platform it is, right? So you can connect people. Again, we are. I think one thing I want to really understand from everyone, right? I think we are giving too much because yesterday I was looking at the number of attendees, right? They are only choose and picky. Like if it is something like a database session, you get really good number of crowd. But when we say this is really important, a new technology, please join. No, they don't want to join. So what is your feedback about Sangam 20? I'm sure everybody will have, it's like, serving a meal. I'm sure you'll say, I don't like this curd rice. I don't like this pickle. But be a generic, like, what is, do you guys really like it? Or I was talking to Vinay and everybody, right? So I think we are running too much. We are working more than 20 hours to do all the stuff. Is it really worth of doing? People are just taking or not, right? That is, we don't know actually, because we are asking feedback. People say excellent, but nobody is writing a one single word saying that, yeah, we are getting benefit, right? It's not, we are not getting that message back.
So we have Mudit who wants
Yeah,
to.
hi Vinay.
Okay,
Hi.
Ashish. Okay.
I would like to add that I feel that AIUG has placed Sangam at the right time in December because after December, in Sangam, we get introduced to new technologies. And after December next year, in the new year, we can start and think about we can plan what new technologies we have to learn. So the next year till next Sangam, we can learn those technologies, work on them, and get to learn about these new things. So I think AIG has placed Sangam at the right time in December.
Thanks. I think that's one of the important thing. I don't know, the other reason of hosting in December, we normally host after Oracle Open World, because in Oracle Open World, a lot of announcements and new products, all the stuff. So we want to bring that message to India, right? That's why Sangam always happens in December. It is also get easy to get speakers availability in December, like little flexible. It's a holiday time, right? So thanks for that. So who's next?
Mudit.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Sai. Hi, Vinay. Hi, Sandesh. Hi, Aishwarya. I'd
Hi,
like
hi.
to thank you all. Thank you, complete AIUG team and Sangam team. It's Sai, it's really like good. I have been enjoying attending Sangam and OG Yatra from home. And I was thinking like if you guys are going to think how feasible, like if we are going to do alternate years, like online webinars and attending Sangam in Bangalore and Hyderabad.
Yeah, thanks, Madit. And I think it's very important, yeah, again, if you ask me my choice, I like to have a physical event because
Same here.
I miss so much. Uh, so just sitting inside the room, four walls, don't ask me the pain,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I also missed that, but I enjoyed attending all the sessions. Being personally present, like from 2018, I'm a regular attendee of Sangam,
I
and
see
I
your
was able
dilemma.
to attend all the sessions this time. Otherwise, running from other rooms, it was not easy to attend all sessions.
So
I
this
see.
is like he doesn't have to choose between what I should attend and what
Exactly.
I should not, what I can skip.
Also, sorry, I would like to add that you might have seen many new faces. Like I have joined a Sangam from this year itself. So I wasn't joining or knew about Sangam before. So with the virtual platform, you might have reached much more people than the in the physical conferences you might have reached.
Correct. That's absolutely correct. Yeah, we have reached. It's not only for India, right? If you look at the timelines, it's covering, AMS, EMEA, and also the APAC region, right? It's more of a global conference. But again, I come back to the Indian community only because that's the purpose of AIOG. So we try to bring in that time zone, right? But only I feel little bit pain in my heart is like, our people are using it or not. Because what happens is so much pain behind the scenes. Like, again, we are not 100% on this AIoG. We have to do our regular jobs, right? So we have to send emails, we have to send communication. Some people, unsubscribe emails, so much pain, right? That's why we are trying to bring everybody into Telegram. So it's like one click, done, right? It's easy for us. Uh, it's so much pain, but I don't want to talk all the pain problem. But yeah, thanks for your feedback. It's very important.
One more thing I want to say. It's about Sangam is fine attending in Bangalore or Hyderabad or any location, but like the advantage I feel for the OG Yatra this year, that when it was in Pune, I was able to attend. But when it was in other cities, I cannot travel every city. But it has been online. That was a benefit to attend all the city sessions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's correct.
That's a
But
great
yeah,
suggestion, Mudit. I think I mean, at some point we were also discussing about a hybrid sort of model where, I mean, we've seen a few conferences have that. I don't know how we'll do it next year. I mean, it's too far away right now and you don't know how the things are going to pan out. But yeah, that's a thing worth considering. I don't know how we'll manage the logistics. I mean, it's way far off right now, but it's certainly something, that's now in our mind and we probably can consider when we, have a discussion about this. Thank you for
Like
that.
I've seen some
Thank you.
conferences where they have Zoom streaming happening simultaneously along with this. So you could have multiple tiers where there's people that pay to visit the conferences physically. There's people that pay the next tier to see them remotely, and then there's people that don't pay that get to see the recording maybe after a couple of months, right? So there's all sorts of different ideas that can be explored. But during a pandemic, I think this is probably the best option where people can be engaged, people can be involved, you can learn new things without actually having to leave the comfort of the room. But there's absolutely no interaction for us as speakers because we don't know whether we resonated with you guys, we didn't, was it an interesting session, was it not, what changes should I make in my session, what enhancements should I make in my product. I get absolutely nothing when I do these online conferences because you're not seeing people, right? You're not interacting with people. So I think that's the aspect I miss. But considering it's a pandemic, I think this is the best that we have to make to do it. But one interesting point that Mudit mentioned was, he loved to see all the sessions. So I think if you have an option where you're recording sessions during the 2 days in Sangam, it would be really useful for people who have attended some physical sessions and say, okay, I want to go back and attend those other virtual sessions later. Might not be a bad idea because everybody has Zoom on their laptops. All you have to do is someone coordinating and recording the session simultaneously. So there are some logistical dilemmas out there.
yeah, we tried that option, Sandesh. Yeah, I think Zoom is easy, but initially we thought we will stream that, but it's very expensive in terms of the way
No,
we
Zoom is probably the only option. Zoom and Zoom recording and hosting the sessions is probably the only option.
option. Yeah, perfect. So we have
Rudrik had some question. Here, yes.
So actually, I just want to ask Sandesh. So there are lots of new things coming in Oracle, right? So just we have 21C release. So I just want to ask what is any quick tips to learn things fast, because it's easy to watch Netflix 10 hours or whole day, but at the same time it's very difficult to learn this, right? So any quick
I start off with this. I start off with office hours, right? Most of the thing that Oracle has started to do in the last couple of months is office hours. It's more prominent now because of people being remote, right? It's like every product owner basically comes and records a video. One thing I've realized is, it's like there's different people have different ways of consuming information. Some people read really fast. Some people listen to audio books really fast. Some people watch YouTube videos and they digest things really fast. So if you look at Oracle office hours, which is something that Connor and a couple of guys run the site on Ask Storm, but it's run by all product development managers. So every couple of months, people have these things. That is the fastest way to pick up a feature, to ask questions directly to the product managers who are responsible for those particular areas, so that you can say, look, I'm a guy who uses the JSON feature and I can't do all of these things. You can directly connect to the office hours and basically ask the people questions. All this content is available on the Oracle Office Hours YouTube page. So you have tons of information to start off. There's live labs where you can start working on the database 21C stuff. There's autonomous where you can connect and start using the 21C stuff. There's obviously documentation, but documentation is usually boring for 95% of the people. I still read some of it, but I start with office hours. very easy to start consuming information about new features and talking directly to the product management for those new features.
The best thing is, Rutvik, right? This is a painful, right? I think it's so many things are coming. The best thing is learn small thing, present it back to your community, or present it to your coworkers, or present yourself in YouTube, create your YouTube channel and present it back. You know what happens when you're trying to present something? You need to really prepare well. So that way you remember, and if even if you forget, you go back and check your YouTube video, right? That's the best way to do it. If everybody does that, so that way that the knowledge sharing will happen, right? So do it.
Hey,
Okay,
Sandesh,
that's one of the
Harish.
reasons.
Yes.
Sorry to, yeah, I mean, just to add, yeah, Harish, just 1 second, I'll take.
Okay,
I
sure.
mean, this is one, Rutik, just to add, this is one of the reasons why I love conferences or, anything AIOG does or any conference so much, because you get to interact, you get to speak, and you just get a lot of feedback. And once you start discussing, it could be a simple thing like a rack, or I mean, a simple thing, or a migration or an upgrade, something you're discussing. You're discussing a use case. I've probably said this a few times. When you get on your the local chapter meetups where like just 15 of us sitting around in a circle on a chair and just discussing things, discussing ideas, that really helps. That's how you pick up things. You start, because I'll tell you what, I mean, this is what I feel. When you're working, you're focused on a particular use case, right? When you interact with 10 people, you hear about 10 use cases that you probably could not have thought of yourself, because of course you're not supposed to do that. You're focused on a use case, you're focused on figuring out how to get around that use case. But the minute you interact, you hear 100 more use cases, and it just blows your mind up. And that's what I really love about it. You just get so
It's like
much.
how Sai got me into this women in IT conversation, right?
Right.
I was like, what am I doing here? It's like, I don't even know if I can influence this, but I still remember this as to be one of the most prominent sessions that I have attended in AIOUG, because, it's like you can appreciate something when you don't go through it every day, but you listen to other people talking about this topic. And I'm like, man, this topic has so much more. And some guy was like, what? I work in the office now to come home and work as well. And I'm like, dude, it's like, what are you talking about? And it was a very interesting conversation. So if there's one thing from last AIOG that I remember, was that Sai pushed me into this women in IT which was actually very, very interesting.
Right.
And now I get pulled into that session as a talker once in a while. We have a question, I think.
I think Harish was saying something as well.
Yeah,
I
Harish, go
interrupted
ahead,
him.
please.
Yeah, hi Sandesh. I have a question for you. Previously you were into rack assurance and everything, and you recently, probably 1 year or back, you started taking ML and AI in Oracle. So, how is this transition for you? Because people generally say, I will work on different technology, but when you sit in the hot seat, that is when you start feeling the real heat. So to all the technologists who wants to change a role from one technology to another, so as you have really moved, so you can share your thoughts, like really how what challenges you face and how to overcome it. So that's my question.
I'll tell you this, it's not pretty. It all started a couple of years ago when a colleague of mine who was working on some of the rack stuff, he was actually writing some of the communication stuff within rack, suddenly came and told me he's resigning. And I'm like, what happened? And then he said he's going to become a doctor. Now, this is a guy who's in his mid-30s, who's suddenly changing careers from IT to medical, completely different. He's trying to go to medical school, 4 or 5 years internship and the likes. And I'm like, are you crazy? Dude, how are you going to do this? And he said, I've decided I'm going to do it. And 2 years later, he messages me back saying, look, I cleared these exams. I still have 4 more years to go, but I think I can do it. And then I realized that, I enjoyed rack, but I worked in that space for at least 7-8 years. And I know as much internals there is to know about it. And I realized that I want to try something different. I was decent with math. So I started going through some of the basic courses with Andrew Ng and a whole bunch of other blogs that were there online. And I started writing some code in Python with scikit-learn. Then I installed Anaconda on my laptop. Then I started playing with TensorFlow. Then I started playing with TensorBoard. And then slowly I started catching up with the Oracle data mining option, which became OML right now. Then I started playing with Dask. Then, one by one, you start picking up all these frameworks, right? And you start playing. Oh, so what is this use case? Oh, yeah. You start with something as small as an MNIST data set. Then you start processing huge number of images and writing some complex system, which then becomes very simple. It's like, oh, yeah, I can use this MXNet to detect images of people coming to my house and say, hey, Sai's come home, announce it on the Alexa device, right? So it's like, I can have stuff like that. Slowly, it's a project after project after project after project. Then you suddenly start really enjoying things. The first year is really horrendous, but if you persevere through it, then you realize it's a completely new area. I think you should constantly change what you work on. It's extremely refreshing. It's very difficult because humans are completely opposed to change. So it's not in our, we love inertia. We love things that we do, right? So people are like, we've been in Oracle for 20 years. But in the 20 years I worked for Oracle, I work on more than 15 different products, whether it is Data Card, whether it is Rack, Installer, Enterprise Manager, apps, e-business suite deployments, ODA, Exadata, all of the AIOps stack, Elasticsearch, you name the technology, whether it is Postgres, whether it is MySQL, I worked on all of them. So you just, start working on it. It's not an easy process, but until you compartmentalize what you're going to do on a daily basis. Like, okay, this week I'm only going to work on this. This is a project. Like, I'll give an example. Last week, I was working on something that required me to work on Kubernetes and Kubeflow. So 1 week I was just working on Kubeflow. That's it. Nothing else. Install the containers, play with this, go through the various examples. Oh, set up all this configuration, exchange the configuration across, oh, how do I scale these containers out? How do I move my code to these containers? How do I set up this automated login? How do I do authentication and authorization with single sign-on on a container? That's all. I just kept going back and back and back on one topic for 1 week. So that if you have that focus, I realized after the end of the week, this was not that hard. But what people tend to do is they tend to spend 1 hour here, 1 hour there. So imagine this, you have to watch TV and you watch 5 minutes something and you watch 5 minutes something and you watch 5 minutes something. You don't follow any serial because you're not concentrated on anything, right? That's why binge watching is such a cool thing. You watch a series and you watch all of it. So the whole story pans out in front of you. As humans, we've kind of learned to do that. So that's the way to learn something. Pick a topic and say, this week I'm going to do this month I'm going to do that. By the end of this month, I'm going to do this. By the way, I've cleared about 4 of the 6 OCI certifications this year. It's like, I don't have to clear certifications, but it's a way to learn. Certifications force you to learn. So I go through it and I'm like, I didn't know this. Even though I work on this, I didn't know this. That's how you do it.
Okay, so we have actually 7 minutes. Let's, any questions from attendees? Boring.
Sai, one quick question, Karan this side. I think you are the best person to answer. So what is the next virtual event coming up?
Hey, it's the one you're hosting, Karan.
I think I'm looking for, I'm planning to take a retirement. So you can see my, so
Karan is going to talk about Exadata and in all its glory, and that's the next virtual event. How about that?
So to answer, Karan, I think we are doing every week webinar, right? So again, by the way, we got really good number of call for papers. We have selected only 25% of papers, right? So there's like 75% is still there. But it again absolutely depends on how people are interested or not, right? We can't bring somebody like a morning 5 o'clock from San Francisco and seeing 5 people in the attendees. It's not going to work, right? I think we need to really respect people. And if somebody registered, it's a promise, because we see like 1,000 people registered and joining 300 people. I don't know what happened to 700 people. That's not a promise, right? I think if you're attending, register it. If you're not attending, it's absolutely fine.
Otherwise, I've never understood this, right, Sai? It's like if something is free, why don't people attend it? If something is paid, people attend it. But if something is free, people don't attend it. This is something in India I've never understood. In the other places I see, people will attend it. If they register, they attend. But it's like in India, it's like if it's free, people don't attend it. But if it's not free, people attend it just to save the money they've paid for it.
they feel that if it is a free, there's no quality, right? Number one. And number
Which
two
doesn't make
is
any sense.
you paid, so that pushes you to attend, right? So again, I think a lot of pain hosting this because a lot of logistics involved. Like I was asking guys, please let us know how many are going to attend. We see 1,000. Okay, can we subscribe 1,000 Zoom subscription like paying 25,000s? Then suddenly it drops to 200 people. Then we wasted money for 1,000 subscription, right? So much pain. But I think one thing is I request is if somebody wants to attend, absolutely fine. If you don't want to attend, it's absolutely fine, but don't register, right? You register and don't attend. That's not a okay. We have one question
We have
from
one
From
question,
Pooja.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from Pooja.
right.
Pooja, go ahead and mute yourself.
Good morning, everyone. There's absolutely no question at all. I just wanted to thank all of you, Sandesh sir, Sai sir, Gomti ma'am, Aishwarya ma'am, Chandan sir. I remember all these guys very well. We have met in, I think, OG Yatra 2019. And then I tried my best to come for the Sangam also. But unfortunately, my boss didn't allow my leaves, means he didn't grant my leaves at all. So I tried my best, but this time I'm very much fortunate to attend the Sangam event, sitting at my home, sitting at my own college cabin. So I just wanted to thank all of you, and special thanks to all these guys, whomsoever I have mentioned. So that's it from my side. I'm really fortunate to attend all the sessions. Really privileged. Thank you, all of you.
Thanks,
Hey,
Well, thank you
thanks.
and glad
Thanks
you
so much.
enjoyed.
I mean, that brings me to my next question for all of us. I mean, we really need to work on ideas to get people's leave approved for Sangam. I mean, that's
So,
been a pain
so,
point.
so just want to add, to be very frank, what you've experienced here in the if people are as there are not many people who are new. What you have experienced here on the webinar series is much is not even 10% what you would have done at the Sangam, because it's completely different experience. I personally feel when we do Sangam, it's for us it's like I remember I'm never around. I'm always running around here and there. But to be very frank, it's one fun we always have, that at the end of the day we sit together, we talk together, uh, and we just cherish our all memories what we had during that particular 2 days, and that is something we don't get it here. So once again, if you want me to relate this webinar series with Sangam, I see is just 10% what is delivered here. There's still 90% which is in person.
Yeah, absolutely, Vinay. I think definitely at least forget about participants. I'm actually missing people all because we work throughout the year, right? Trust me, I'm so horrible guy because I request all volunteers to join every Sunday 2 o'clock. I'm sure how many are behind the scenes calling me like it's a like entire year working together and just that's a one place we meet all, right? So definitely missing that one. So again, we are running out of time, 1 minute. I think I really need to thank Sandesh because he's there always with us. I was asking, next Sunday he should do a motivation session and we'll stop talking. He will just present, but just
No.
just watch out next Sunday. And I think one message, right? Please come out of your comfort zones, whatever it's jobs, family, or whatever it may be. Please be interactive. That is one thing we always miss because it's so painful. Every time we have to send telegram message saying that please ask questions. So we don't want to do that mechanical way of doing it. So please be interactive, share the knowledge, right? I think one thing we don't like as Indians, including me, we don't share the knowledge. We'll say that I learn, excel in my career. No, that is not going to work. Please share the knowledge. Whatever you
Everything is
learn,
on YouTube now, man. Everything is on YouTube. You can't hide anything, anyways.
exactly. And I think again, every topic, if you present, you present in a different way, right? So please, I think even forget about blogging these days. You can create your own video channels, right? Share the knowledge. right? And share the connections. And that way, I think only thing I feel is I think we are not really reaching the right audience, right? That is one of the challenge we always face because we are doing too much. I think one call we should explain, how much time we spend and what are the activities we do. It's like too much beyond. I think sometimes I really upset, like, okay, we are doing too much, but seeing just 100 people in the call, I think that's not worth, right? It's everybody's time.
So everybody has to go and bring 5 friends next time. Is that what you're asking? So everybody here, you should talk to
Again,
your
I'm
friends
not
and bring
again
in.
I'm not setting any expectations, Sandesh, but I'm ultimately, if they get that message, right, that's more important, right? Again, every time we say that, please tweet this snapshot, I really bored asking the same thing again and again. But go and check Twitter, you don't see very less people, right? I don't know why they do it. I don't know why they don't do it. If they don't have Twitter accounts, that's absolutely fine. But when you look at the Twitter, it's like very less people are doing tweeting, right? So anyway, so thanks a lot for joining the session. I think let's get into a hands-on labs. Again, too much efforts on hands-on labs, especially the Oracle people are coming on the weekends and supporting us. Let us respect their time and please join the hands-on labs. At least watch out. If you're not practicing, just watch out what they're doing. If you like it, it's okay. Otherwise, you can leave the call. But I request you to join and see, right? First, at least 15 minutes if you like it or not, right? That's more important. So with that, thank you very much. I think I really need to thank my entire team. So I need to, I can 30 people are there, but especially I need to really thank Vinay, Aishwarya. They are like behind the scenes, always there. And I think it's a continuous transactions between three of us in the call, in the Telegram, saying that I'm going for a bio break. I'm going for shower. I'm going for a quick breakfast. It's like that much efforts, right? um it's not easy, right? And I don't know why we are doing all the stuff, but please understand, share with your communities, make more people coming into this platform. And it's absolutely, if you want to do something, I think again you can do a lot of voluntary work. You can really enjoy. I'm sure that there are many people really enjoy in this platform. Again, there's no commitment that you need to do 100%, but you can just spend 10% of your time. That is also absolutely fine. So Sandesh, any closing comments, Sandesh?
No, I think enjoy the rest of the conference. See, I'll tell you this, okay? Everybody that I work with always says, I'll go look at the recordings later. You never look at the recordings later. It never happens.
Exactly.
Join the online conference, participate in it. I sometimes sit for it. It's a little too late for me, but sometimes I still sit for it. I miss the camaraderie and the networking that's there. But this is a COVID year. Make the most of it. Clear some OCI certifications. Do something. At the end of the year, have some defined goals. What you're going to clear, what you're going to learn, and these guys work really hard. So make maximum use of what is available out here as an online platform. And hopefully next year some of you guys can be speakers.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. With
Thanks
that,
all.
we are closing this session. Thanks.
Okay,
See you in the
Thank
thank
next
you.
you.
one.
Enjoy the rest of the conference, guys.
Thank you.